Hello everyone, my name is Michael and I'm a registered clinical counselor out of Vancouver, BC. Today we're going to be focusing on a coping skill called mindful seeing. With this coping skill of mindful seeing, we're going to be able to find ways that we can manage things like anxiety, low moods, panic attacks, or just the daily stresses that people get dealt with every single day. The mindful seeing has three main benefits that I have outlined. The first one is it's quite easy. You can utilize the strategy anywhere. From the past strategies such as progressive muscle relaxation and bumblebee breathing, those are kind of difficult strategies to kind of work on in front of people in stressful situations, just being on the bus. You might notice in general that you can also be present with this activity. It helps you focus on the here and the now. Oftentimes, many of my clients report thinking about the past and the future, regrets, challenges, and failures, but also the ways that those regrets, challenges, and failures will affect them in the future. They don't become present. They are focused on past and future. That can be a really troubling place to be. The final thing is it helps you make a choice. Control is something that's really, really difficult with mental health, as oftentimes your mind or your physical body can rob you of that feeling of control that most of us are very, very happy to have. Oftentimes we know that life comes with a prerequisite of stress, and if you can find ways to decide to relax or decide to be mindful, we arrest some of that control back. We can take a little bit of control with mindfulness. Today, we're going to start that exercise. First, we're going to go ahead and find a beautiful place. You can do this anywhere you like. Go out in your room or go outside and try to find a place that's relaxing, where you can look over a distance. This could be the window of your home on the second floor. This could be going for a walk in a park. This could be standing in the concrete jungle that I kind of live in and just looking at people live their daily life. I want you to go ahead and select one specific object. And when you decide to look at this object, I want you to go ahead and really zoom in on it, like a magnifying glass. And as you zoom in on your object, I want you to really, really pay attention to all of the detail and all of the different ways this object can be described. The color of it, the shapes that make up this object, the structure. And as you look at your object, I also want you to go ahead and look at the way the object also interacts with the environment that it sits in. Now, if it's a tree, it takes in sunlight, produces oxygen, and puts nutrients into the soil. It also takes nutrients from the soil. If it's a power line or a building, people function in those buildings every single day to do their daily tasks. If it's a garbage can even, something so innocuous like a garbage can, you might find that this object is of course interacted with daily. It has a purpose. People take garbage out of it. People use it to store their garbage. And as you're looking at your object and you're zoomed in on your object, really, really focus on it in its system like I suggested. And as you spend some time looking at the details of your object, I want you to zoom out a little bit with your magnifying glass and look at all of the different objects around it. All of the different things that are just as complicated as your object. And this might feel overwhelming. That is completely okay. You are allowed to be overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed is a natural state of being. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. No matter what people say, everyone feels overwhelmed sometimes. Nobody maintains a calm forever. Because if you're calm forever, you don't truly move forward. You don't truly do what scares you. You don't grow and become more resilient. Looking at all these objects, notice the complications of them. And finally zoom out even more. And turn your head left to right, looking around. And notice that everything in your vision has a place, has a structure, and functions within a system just like your object. The world is very complicated. It can be very beautiful as well. As you go ahead and look at all of these things, take a few moments to process. And when you're ready, close the eyes. Try to draw your object in your head. And while you're drawing out your object, think about the systems. Almost like an X-ray. Try to find out what are the systems inside of that object. Look at them. If it's a root system for a tree, look and try to visualize where those roots go. If it's a building, try to look and try to guess how many people are in there. How many people interact with this thing daily? Ask yourself these questions. And with your eyes closed and the drawing of your object in your head, do 5 deep breaths to help calm you down, to help settle you. If you're already a little bit unsettled by the complications, this will help. If you're not, and you're already in a state of calm, this might help you become even calmer and become zoned in on your body. Breathe in 5 times. Inhale. Now exhale. We'll make the breath slow and calm. Inhale. You might notice the chest shudders and the shoulders are a little bit painful from doing the breathing. Straighten your posture. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And pay attention to that feeling of calm that you might have. Pay attention to the fact that you might notice the difference now. And then open the eyes. And notice the way your body feels. It may be a little calmer. You might not be thinking of anything that's too stressful. You might find your body's a little more settled, a little less tense, a little less painful to live in. And again, look at your object and reflect on the effectiveness of the exercise. And now we talk about the effectiveness of the exercise again. Let's talk about how it works. First of all, it's quite an easy exercise. You can look at things whenever you want. The second piece is it helps you become present. A very important task as we move forward together. It helps you focus on now. The object is moving, the object has colors, the object has many shapes. It helps you do that. The next thing is it helps you provide choice. And this is the hardest one. On average, we look at many things that stress us out, and that goes on top of our stress tower. We have taxes, we have school, we have work, we have responsibilities, things that we don't get to choose whether they stress us out or not. But the things you look at, the things you hear, the things you choose to notice, those things are in your control. You're on the bus, you're feeling stressed. Try to find something in your vision that helps settle you. Think about this exercise as you add it to your repertoire. Remember, all these exercises don't have to be used all at once. I don't want you to give you 100 mindfulness exercises to do a day. Pick the one that works for you. Decide on that one. Experiment with it for a week or 2. Test. Testing is always helpful. Again, my name is Michael. I'm a registered clinical counselor here in BC, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your thoughts, and I appreciate your practice. Look at the mess I've made.